All right, another round of the league. This hand is kind of weak on the draw. If our bird gets killed, we're just kind of playing like land go. That being said, on the draw, this deck has a huge density of 2 and 3 drop creatures, so we're not entirely unlikely to hit one of those. Looks like we're playing against Dredge, which I like to play against the new Dredge deck. Ever since the bannings, some people will assume that Dredge was dead, but I see a lot of lists on Moto, and if anything, there's just less Dredge hate, which is good for the Dredge deck. Looks like, Burning Inquiry, so this is just a completely different list. I guess he might have, like, Simian Spirit Guide if he's got this card, and is just kind of going for a faster deck with less consistency, like no trolls, obviously, and stuff like that. Hopefully we can hit one of our Scavenging Oozes. Like, on the draw against Dredge, he's already got a Bloodghast and an Amalgam. If he's got, like, a Cathartic Reunion here, we're just super dead. No, he has Conflagrate. Okay, well, that's good news. Hopefully we can draw an Ooze. We draw Company. Not the end of the world. I mean, the nice part about this new list is that it used to be that path to exiling the Dredge deck was just horrendous because they would just get to 5 lands and start casting like 10, 10, 15, 15 Grave Trolls. But the list doesn't actually have Grave Troll anymore, so pathing them is a lot better. It's still not great because, you know, they have Loam plus Conflagrate that they can get going, but it's not just, like, there's a scenario with the old Dredge deck where I would just be pretty much dead here, you know? Regardless of if I hit perfects off my Company, like, him just playing a few Grave Trolls is going to beat me. Looks like he's going to flashback Looting. Right now, he doesn't actually have the Imp in the graveyard. So he's got a pretty slow start there. Did not hit another Dredger. And that's the one thing, like, about not playing the Troll. I'm not saying that, like, if Thug is replacing Troll, whatever, but he's just going to dredge less, and they're just, not only are they going to have less powerful draws, but they're just going to have less, they're just going to miss on Dredgers more often. Do I want to get the Stomping Ground? No. Just get Hollowed Fountain. Wow, drawing pretty poorly here, but if I can Coco into some action here, that could be really nice. Like, we're gonna take 2. He's got an Imp in the graveyard. Interesting that he dredged. Why would he dredge a Thug over an Imp on his draw step? I don't really understand that. But hopefully we can hit a Spell Queller here. If we hit a Spell Queller, the Dredge deck does take a lot of damage from his lands. This game he doesn't have a Mana Confluence or anything, so he's doing okay on life. But if we go Coco and hit, like, some amount of Knights, you know, we can maybe just kill him. I could have even played a fetch land instead of Ghost Quarter, just to make Knights bigger. Stinkweed Imp. It's actually kind of annoying. I'm surprised, why wouldn't he flashback Faithless Looting? He expects a Spell Queller here. He could have a Simian Spirit Guide. I think I actually just Coco right now. Well, actually, if he had a Spell Queller, he can just kill it with Conflagrate. And he might be baiting me. He might have Simian Spirit Guide and can just play Looting, or he might have a Burning Inquiry or Looting in his hand already. Like, how good is even Spell Quillering this? If he has nothing else, it's pretty... Yeah, I'm going to do this. The Stinkweed Imp is pretty good against Knight, so hitting a Spell Queller would be pretty nice. And see, here's what the example of, like, you know, I love Retreat. I think it's really sweet, but I just don't want to play too many. Like, if that was just any other... If it was just a creature, if it's just a Tireless Tracker, like, that could be a pretty big game here. Unfortunately, it's not. He's going to Loam. Okay. Really drawing dead here. Like, not drawing what we need. Pretty unfortunate. Not thrilled. Drawn only lands and Company in 4 turns. I guess the second Company is still okay. And he's definitely going to have us dead next turn. I don't think he can really attack me, though, here. Into company mana. So maybe I can get there. My retreat's on the bottom, so it's possible I'm supposed to just shuffle it in. I'm still pretty embarrassed about that retreat thing last game. I will be honest. This is like the first time that it actually happened. Like it only happened before like miniature, where I just like, you know, got like 3 or 4 fetch lands and killed my opponent and tapped their stuff down. I'd never had to like go through my entire deck. I forgot that Hallowed Fountain and Plains count. I don't know why I forgot that. Hoping he just fires in with everything. I think that's probably the best for me. Like, obviously his Bloodghast just come back, and his Ghost and his Prize Amalgam probably just comes back, but I can't afford to take this damage. Can't really afford to take this damage. Voice is interesting. I could also take Selfless Spirit. But if I get Voice, I can block everything and maybe buy myself an additional turn, even. But the Selfless Spirit deals with the Imp, which is pretty nice. He might have another Imp in play at the end of this. So I think I just want to save my life total. I wonder if Spell Queller just has a flyer is better. Selfless Spirit could maybe save my guys from like the Conflagrate. So let's just get the Spirit and take 2 more damage. I kind of want to be a little bit health conscious because I'm going to be fetching a lot this game. So yeah, I might win this. I think I got punished by playing Ghost Court over one of my fetches because I kind of wish that I had both of these in play. I guess I can always Ghost Quarter myself. Pretty close to winning the game. Knight's going to be 5/5, 7. Knight's going to be pretty huge. I have a fetch land in hand and the Ghost Quarter in play. Let's just see what he does first. I think I'm probably just going to die next turn. Maybe not. I don't know. He hasn't dredged like that much, but he's free to like Faithless Looting or do whatever he wants this turn. It's possible I should have just taken 4 and hoped to Coco into a Spell Queller. That way I can stop this Faithless Looting or Conflagrate or something. So 1 damage there. Okay. Well, so he pitched a bunch of lands. So yeah, he's just going to loam and he's just going to burn me out next turn. So I think if I draw Path to Exile, I win. And I do have the Canopy for a redraw. Well, actually, he could have hit Narcomoebas here. Yeah, he hit a Narcomoeba. So Path to Exile doesn't really do it. Though I still... Am I just necessarily dead next turn? I don't even think I am. Like, he's going to have 2 Amalgams. He only has 2 cards. Oh, he's going to have Bloodghast too. Yeah, okay. I need to try to kill him this turn. Which I don't even necessarily think is possible, but we'll see. Let's get Stomping Ground. Sack this. So what happens if I just get Kessig Wolfrun here? He's got 3 toughness. So he's at a virtual 18 life. Which he can actually split. He can actually go 1-1. Yeah, that's... But if I drop Path to Exile, what happens? So, Kessig Wolfrun. If I drop Path to Exile, I can Path to Imp. And then I can still pump for 2. And fetch? So my knights will be... And I can Ghost Quarter myself. So Ghost Quartering myself makes my knights 8/8s. Fetch land makes them 9/9s. So if I get I should just get the Kessig, I think. Because then I definitely win if I drop Path to Exile. I'm pretty confident. Path? Scavenging Ooze. That's super interesting. Does that give me another turn? My mana is so bad right now. Mana is so bad right now. So let's think here. I can exile his Conflagrates. He doesn't have any Dredgers. I can set up to just kill him next turn. Or I could play the Canopy and try to draw Path. Play the Canopy tap, try to draw Path. Let's say I tap the Hollow Fountain. Then I still have birds to cast the Path. Then I still have Ghost Quarter myself to give Trample. 8-8, yeah, that's exactly... Oh, plus the Canopy. 9-9. So if I Canopy into Path, I still win. Which is about a 3-41 shot. So 1 out of 14 times I win the game if I do that. Or I get one more Scavenging Ooze activation. I kill the his last card is Life from the Loam. So I think I just set up to kill him next turn, honestly. I think I just set up to kill him next turn. I don't think he can kill me, right? I can block I can block 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Yeah. I mean, if he hits a Scourge Devil, I can just Scavenging Ooze it, right? Question is, will I be able to kill him next turn? Probably. Okay. Let's do it that way. Next card is Path, only 1 out of 14 times. Where I think I just win. I guess I could try to do both. But I think I just... He's going to have so many blockers now. But I think the Ooze actually might just win me the game. Like, once I untap with the Ooze, he just literally can't do anything. Haunted Dead. Ooh. So his hand is Thug. His hand is Thug and Life from the Loam. Okay, so we just pass. I honestly am not entirely sure what's going to happen this game. I'm pretty sure if I untap with the Ooze, I just win. Like, it's going to be beyond the point where he can kill it. He's not going to have enough stuff left to Life from the Loam. So I think I just exile the Conflagrate in response. And I could actually also exile the Haunted Dead here if I wanted to. Can I blow this up so you guys can see better? There we go. Oh, he's got 2 Conflagrates? I didn't realize that. I think we're still fine, though. I can still Ghost Quarter myself for another green. Let's just exile both Conflagrates. Do we die? We block 3, 3, 2. We're taking 4. Yeah, no, we're fine. And then we can exile both Loams too. I mean, I guess Loam doesn't really do anything as long as I because Conflagrate's a sorcery. I can always just exile. Just swinging with the team. I guess he can play a Looting. Yeah, I guess if he plays like a Looting, he can Dredge. What can he do? He can Dredge into... He can, like, Dredge This might be close. Maybe I was supposed to exile the Loam as well, but that taps my Knight, so I can actually. I could have Ghost Quartered myself and exiled the Haunted Dead. Sorry, this is super complicated. This is one of those games that I wish I was playing in real life. I would feel a lot more comfortable. He can, like, Faithless Looting. Then if he dredges into a Conflagrate, we're going to die. Because I don't get priority to, like, ooze something. Yeah, attacking with the Imp seems bad. I think he's just going to die next turn. I don't know. Let's just play it by ear here. It's pretty awkward that, like, I only have one Forest left in my deck. I kind of want to keep the Kessig. Maybe it was better just to sack with the Knight. I don't know. So I'm taking 5. His hand is 3 lands and a Thug. So we can Faithless Looting. I think I'm supposed to... I need to exile a creature. And I can either kill this Bloodghast. I'm pretty sure my opponent's just going to die. He has a Haunted Dead to block, which is really annoying, honestly. Oh, that Bloodghast is going to return those Amalgams. But it's fine. I'm just going to kill him, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I should have exiled I should have exiled the I should have exiled that Bloodghast. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, right? My Knights are just huge. Though the Haunted Dead token can block me. Yeah, I guess I should have... I think I should have exiled the Hunt... Well, I don't really know. I should have Ghost Quartered myself and exiled the Haunted Dead in response to the Life from the Loam. Like, I did exile 2 Conflagrates, but I also should have hit that as well. Are these big enough? These are plenty big, right? Yeah, I might actually lose. He's got 2 blockers on 2 Knights. The Knights are just going to be too big, though, right? Yeah, let's just go for it. Big Knights. And I have the Ooze as well. Plays the Thug. He can, like, flashback looting, which he might do. I might die to a Conflagrate if he hits it, actually. I don't know. This is sloppy. I don't really have a great excuse. I don't really have a great excuse. But let's just see what happens. Oh, he had an Imp? I guess that makes some amount of sense. I thought he had a Thug, but it doesn't really change much. Does not really change much, I don't think. A fetch land, grab a Temple Garden. Yeah, maybe my opponent will live through this. I really can't figure it out right now. I think because of the ooze, he won't. Oh, but he's got the Haunted Dead. Okay, so he's got 3 blockers, which I didn't entirely anticipate. What am I doing this game? I don't know. This is bad. So I still need to draw Path, I guess? Am I just dead now? 4... Yeah, not exile. Oh man, this was a rough one to lose. For not exiling that Bloodghast post combat, he would have still gotten the amalgams back, but I would have. Well, the biggest thing was the Haunted Dead. The Haunted Dead put him over the edge here to win. Let's think about this though. I mean, I do have 4 blockers, and I can gain 4 life. So I can block 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm dead. If I attack with everything, I can only pump for 2, which is too short lethal. Right? So I kind of have to just canopy draw. What if I just like attack with just 1 knight? He's got 5 toughness. Let's count his creatures again. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 creatures, and I have 4 blockers. Playing the Voice gives me another blocker, but it's net neutral because I can just gain that life back anyway. I don't have any green sources that can come into play that I don't take damage. So do I just have to draw? I think I just have to draw for Path. Well, this game was very poorly played by me, huh? 1, 2, 3 creatures. Fetch. Have to gain a life to fetch. 4. So close. 2. So close. Right? There's just nothing I can do, I don't think. Does Gavney Township? No, it doesn't help me. Horizon Canopy puts my guys to 13s. I think I just have to Canopy. I just don't see another way. I can block all the 2-power guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Oh, if I play the Voice, I can block 5 2-power guys. And then he's got what? 1, 2, 3, 4 other creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can block all 5 of the 2-power creatures. Then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 other guys, and I can only gain 2 life. All right, I guess we just Canopy. Try to draw Path to Exile. I need the white mana. I'm not even sure that this is lethal. I don't know. Yeah, oh yeah, because one of these guys gets through if I draw Path, and then I just give whatever he blocks trample. Gonna have to play fast these last 2 games. This was gross. This was really gross. I don't like. I think. Oh man, my mana. When I do the ooze, my green mana situation was so poor, and I was trying to kill my opponent. I took a bunch of damage last turn. I think the trick was like, I just needed to play it even slower, and not lose life with my knights. Like if I had 2 7/7 knights here, I'd be in the same situation. Except I'd have like what? I'd have like 3 or 4 more life. Like if I didn't get the breeding pool and I didn't get the fetch land, 2 fetch lands, like I think I would just be. I think he'd be locked out of the game. I guess he's got flyers that he can kill me with, but I think I would get him before he would get me. But yeah, exiling the Haunted Dead, I needed to absolutely do that. I needed to. The trick was to use my Ghost Quarter to do it. That way I wouldn't have to tap any of my creatures. I think the Haunted Dead is what beat me. I thought he had Thug in his hand, but I mean, Thug and Imp are like pretty much the same thing here, just a blocker. I mean, if we drop Path, we still win. Which I actually like my line last turn of not YOLOing to drop Path, because activating the Canopy gets me the same amount of deep this turn into my deck. So if the Path is there, like, we'll still win. Definitely that was the only thing that I did right this game, though. We drew a Spellskite. That's interesting, because it's a blocker that cost me colorless mana. I don't really think it matters, though. It does block a 2-power creature. So let's play it and pass. So I have 5 blockers, super dead, right? Let's see. I mean, maybe he's afraid of me having more basic force in my deck. If I attack with the knight, yeah, beats. He hit a Dark Blast and an Amalgam. Yeah, that fetch shock last turn was just really unnecessary. Just all that damage I took. All the damage I took last turn was unnecessary, I guess. I should have counted it out a little bit more carefully. Faithless Looting. Yep. I can't afford to exile anything that's not. Ooh, there's Rally the Peasants. So we're dead, huh? Happens. So maybe I would have died anyway? The Knight. If I had more breathing room with the Ooze, I could have, like, exiled the Faithless Looting, I think, so. It is what it is. Dark Blast on my birds. Yeah, that's definitely game. Oh, well. Oh, I have the Spellskite to redirect, but I can't. I mean, I have to tap the birds to do it. Still super, super dead, right? No, it's like 1,000,000 damage. I'm at 1. I'm at 1. It doesn't even matter. I can't take any damage. Alright, so we want Staticasters. We want Reflector Mage. Bajuka Bog. 2 Elspeths. 2 Negates. I don't love Pride Mage. I don't. Well, he does have Dark Blasts. That's not normally. Dredge decks don't normally have that. I guess the new versions do. I'm not in love with Tracker or Selfless Spirit in this matchup. I don't think Voice is very good either, but Voice does this weird thing where they don't block very well and they take a lot of damage. So if you can just throw the Voice in front of. It doesn't sound great, but if you throw the Voice in front of a Bloodghast, you know, and then you have like a 4/4, that can really do some work against them. I have to cut a land for this Bajuka Bog. I don't have to. Maybe I just shouldn't. Maybe I just shouldn't cut a land. Maybe I cut all the trackers. I think Spell Queller is great. They don't really have much recourse. It's really good against Conflagrate. Potentially. It blocks their annoying flying creatures, which is nice. Not actually sure if this works against Conflagrate. Anyway. Spellskite isn't great against Conflagrate because they can just deal 1 to it. I think I'm just going to cut spells. Well, Spellskite does block Amalgam. Maybe I'll leave one. I do want some 2-drops, right? Maybe I cut the retreat? I don't know. The retreat seems like he doesn't have any way of killing Knight. And he's combo, so that's a way we won't retreat. Maybe I don't want Ghost Quarter. I think that's fine. But you could bog for Ghost Quarter. Like, Ghost Quarter is not going to do anything against him. I think we keep this. I have an Ooze. If I draw a land, it's obviously great. If I don't, I can just go, like... I can either play Ooze on 2, or I can just play another Birds. Probably going to fetch... Should I fetch a... I think I'm just going to fetch a green... Well, I need a blue land. I think I'm going to fetch a Breeding Pool in this hand. Because I have these weird... Like, I have a 2 blue creatures. He's on 5 cards? Okay. Let's get a Breeding Pool and play our Birds, right? Well, yeah, play the Birds. If he's got Dark Blast, I think I'd rather him kill the Noble Hierarch, but... Otherwise... Alright, so this is a pretty sick start from us. Otherwise, yeah, maybe it is right to lead on Noble. But, yeah, this is probably just game over. Even if he kills the Ooze, like, I have all these other awesome creatures. Oh, he's got Dark Blast. It's a start. But unless he has Burning Inquiry... Wait, what? Oh, did he... How did these get in the graveyard exactly? I missed it. Huh, I'm surprised he wouldn't go after my Ooze there. How did this other crap get in his graveyard? Did he dredge the dark... Did he do that on upkeep? He must have done that on upkeep. Yeah, he did it because there's only 2 cards in the graveyard. That's the only explanation. I'm surprised he didn't kill the Ooze. Hopefully we can just draw a land. Noble Hierarch. So, if I play the Noble, he just gets to Dark Blast it. I think a better play is to just eat his Stinkweed Imp. That way he can't, like, double Dark Blast my Ooze or something. And I get a clock on him. I'm really hoping to draw a land at some points. Even now, I can maybe play the Noble next turn. Though, I don't want to play a Noble into a turn where he's just dredging Dark Blast anyway. It's pretty bad. But if I just draw lands, I'm in pretty good shape. Like, he could have Lightning Axe, but it looks like he's got Nature's Claim. I mean, he knows I have Oozes, so... Any land is pretty absurd. So I think I just fire in. The question is, would I rather exile Dark Blast? Or would I rather play Noble Hierarch? Then he's just going to dredge a Dark Blast, kill the Noble Hierarch. So yeah, let's just attack and exile the Dark Blast. I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not falling behind. He's getting a mana advantage on me. But as soon as I draw another land, like, it's going to be pretty tough for him to do anything. Because he's not dredging this turn. He's got to draw natural. If he's got, like, a Stinkweed Imp or something to play, that could be kind of annoying. I do have Reflector Mage. But yeah, any land would be great. But now, we've exiled... He's got Dark Blast in hand. He does have an Imp. Okay, that makes sense. Like, playing the Noble Hierarch lets him just upkeep kill it. So I don't really want to play the Noble. So we're really looking to draw land. Spellskite. Ooh, Spellskite's actually reasonable here. Because it will allow me to block the Bloodghast, which I couldn't do before, and also keep my Noble from dying to a Dark Blast. Pretty nice. Still just looking for a land. Because I would like to close out this game a bit quicker than I am. I'm going to block here. It's kind of awkward if he's got... Well, actually, do I block with the Ooze? If you can somehow discard a Conflagrate, I can get blown out. He's probably just free rolling an attack because he's going to play a land anyway. A block with Spellskite is actually, this is just like a pretty rookie mistake by me, I think. If he has a second Dark Blast, I lose the Spellskite. If I just block with the Ooze, I don't think there's a way he can kill the Ooze. Oh, and I guess Ancient Grudge could do it. I don't think he would play that card though. But it's a Conflagrate for 1. Yeah, he could have went like land and went 1/1, and I couldn't redirect that. So I guess it is right to just block with the Spellskite. Okay, that's fine. I mean, looking for a Lando here. Draw an Elspeth. I think we're still in okay shape. I just exile his Dark Blast. Don't let him get started. Like, Dredge 3 is not great, but if he just hits like a... As soon as he hits Faithless Looting, like, he's just in it again, so... If he draws Life from the Loam here, we could lose. Just gonna take it. Don't love taking all this free damage here, but I think we have to. Alright, we're gonna play the Noble. Hopefully we can untap with it. Not really sure what's in his hand. Probably just lands. I can't imagine what it would be. Or like Dredgers. Like Golgari Thug or something. Still can't block the Bloodghast, which is unfortunate because he probably has nothing, but it's one of those situations where he can just basically c-bet with a better hand. I can't call. Or sorry, with a worse hand, rather. There's nothing I can do about it because I just lose on the spot if he has it. Oh, there's a Conflagrate in his graveyard? Oh, I see. The one from before. Yeah, no. I mean, this is fine. My Ooze is dead, but he's got no Dredgers. He didn't discard a Dredger. Yeah, I guess it was pretty dumb for me to play the Noble, because if he... I'm just not paying that close attention, in all honesty here. I forgot that he had Conflagrate in his graveyard. Let's pop out his graveyard. If I just exile the Conflagrate, we're in much better shape. Oh, that's his exile zone. Luckily, he didn't. If he drew a Dredger there, we would have been in real big trouble. So I guess I just play Courser maybe. If I play Knight, that gives me mana next turn to like for sure play my Staticaster. Let's just play Knight. Sorry that I've played so bad. I don't really know what's happening. I played this deck a lot and thought I played pretty well with it, but I played some testing matchups. I think I'm gonna block the Bloodghast this time. No, he can just Conflagrate it for 1. Alright, I have to take. Beats. Now his Bloodghast all have haste. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I really don't know what's going on here. I'm just screwing up all over the place. He can kill the Noble Hierarch. He drew a Nature's Claim. That's fine. There's the land we've been waiting for. So I think we're probably gonna win this game pretty easily. Oh, I just need to play fast. I don't have that much time on my clock. Let's go Noble. He's got another Bloodghast in his graveyard, which is kind of annoying. But I think the plan is to just play Staticaster here. If he draws a land, I can kill both Bloodghasts forever and always. Then I can untap, play Courser, gain a bunch of life. Do I want to take an extra damage here to make my Knights bigger? I don't even think so. Like, I don't think there's any reason to. I can just exile both Bloodghast with a Bojuka Bog and then win. Oh, there's retreat. I just don't have enough time. I'm literally just not even gonna bother with the retreat. I actually don't really even want to show him the Bojuka Bog, but I think it's fine. Don't think he's just so little. I just have to play fast, and he just can't win this game. There's like nothing he can do, I don't think. All I have to do is play fast. He's just almost dead next turn. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't show him the Bog. I don't know. He should just assume that I have it, though. This is actually 1 point off lethal. All right. Very sloppy. Holy cow. We got to tighten up, but it's tough when I don't have time and I'm talking. The game one was just... I think game one actually tilted me. I don't feel tilted, but like my plays have been so bad. All right. Bouncing that imp. Ended up giving him Cathartic Reunion here. Just don't think it really matters. If you get like a bunch of Narcomoebas and Scourge Devil, it still wouldn't even matter. Dark Blast. All right. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We kept the one lander and got severely punished, which is not unreasonable. Spellcaller and Negate are both a little bit worse on the draw. Spellskite actually felt reasonable against like Dark Blast, and it also was kind of annoying against the Conflagrate because he was forced to like deal one more to it. Man, not seeing that Conflagrate in his graveyard was really bad. Retreat is kind of interesting just because I only have 3 minutes on my clock. It seems so good against him, though. I have to keep it, just because he just can't... He just is one of the only decks in Modern that can't kill Knight. Just makes almost 0 sense not to play it. Even with little time that I have. Elspeth seemed a little slow. But it's so good. If you resolve it, like, the Dredge deck is very... They can burn you out, but... It has to win through combat. Let's just cut one for an Obstinate Bailoff. Hopefully that doesn't make me too sad, but... no hate, but I think we still keep. This hand's pretty bad against a Dark Blast, but pretty much on the draw, like, all my hands are bad against Dark Blast. I think I have to shock myself in case to play around a Dark Blast. Drew another Noble. Yeah, I have to shock myself. It's pretty unfortunate because every point counts against this deck. But I need to be able to cast all my white-blue spells if my opponent... Cathartic Reunion. If my opponent kills my Noble. Looks like he's tanking, so it seems like a Cathartic Reunion. Which is not really what I want to see. I have no hate in my hand. I don't have a Knight either. Maybe we can draw something. Loam and a Dark Blast. Okay. He did not hit an Imp or a Thug. He did it an Amalgam. It's pretty good. Hopefully we can Spell Queller him out of this game. Maybe I should mull that hand. Just like no ooze. No nothing. I think I will Spell Queller that. Like, having a knight, yeah, maybe I should maul. Like, a knight against this deck is so unbelievable, almost. Maybe unbelievable is a bit strong terminology, but... Ooh, a scavenging ooze. Okay, that's good. Alright, just gotta play fast now. Work. Oh, he can... Yeah, it's probably game, actually. Do I have an attack? Yeah, I do. I think I just exiled the rally. Because if he just plays land, it's pretty awkward. His board is not insignificant, but I can just Reflector Mage. I can just Reflector Mage the Amalgam this turn. Okay, I got punished for exiling the rally. Alright. Well, it's not necessarily punished. If he just goes land, attack with everything, like flashback rally. No, my play was fine. Also, I just have no time. 2 Dark Blasts. Didn't hit any discarded 2 Dark Blasts. Okay. I can exile both of those Dark Blasts. Or I can just tag the looting, honestly. Neonate. Another ooze. I kind of want to go on the defensive and just Reflect Mage the Amalgam. I think this is fine. I have a backup ooze. I could exile both Dark Blast, but I don't think Dark Blast does that much here. He only has 1 black source that we know about. I think what I should do is just exile the Faithless Looting. Faithless Looting doesn't even matter, though. If he flashes it back, I can just exile Dredgers. That's an interesting block. Okay. I think I just let him have Faithless Looting. It's fine. Dark Blast is annoying. Like, him killing one of my Noble Hierarchs does suck. Okay, so he's sacking a Neonate. I can exile both Dark Blasts, but I think I'm just gonna let it fly. Bloodghast and Amalgam. Alright, let's just exile the Bloodghast for now. We can always exile the Amalgam later. Like, because it doesn't come in instant speed. If he goes like fetch land, could be annoying. But the Amalgam, you know, if it's triggered, I can just exile it. Instead, like here, I can exile Narcomoeba, which I think is probably better. Actually, maybe I should exile the looting. I don't know. I don't have that much time to think about everything. Especially because, like, if the longer I wait in his turn, the less time I have on my clock. He's going to loot, probably get the other Amalgam back. Maybe I should just exile the Amalgam, assuming that his Faithless Looting is... Oh, it's a Cathartic Reunion? Okay. Well, that makes me feel a bit better about my play. That's the thing, is, like, my board is just so good. Like, there's just... And any land I draw just makes it almost impossible for him to do anything. Ran out of Dredgers. That's what it feels like. It feels like without the Grave Trolls, like, this just keeps happening to my opponents. I mean, in this match, too. Like, my opponent just keeps having... Not... His Dredges are fine, but he just runs out of Dredgers so quick. Because he's using, like, Dark Blast, which is, like, Dredge 3, as opposed to Dredge 6. And once I exile these 3 Amalgams on my turn, that's just, like, it's going to be really hard for him to win. Unless he's got a way of reanimating them now. 2 Bloodghasts, yeah. He's already played a land. He's got a Conflagrate in the bin, but it just doesn't even matter, right? Go for Bloodghasts or Amalgams? I guess I'll go for Amalgams. Doesn't really matter. Whatever I do, I just have to do it quick. Do I exile the Conflagrate? I don't think so. guess I'll leave back the Reflector Mage to block any sort of Bloodghast, potentially. I don't know how he could attack with it, but mostly just, what is the card called? The thing that gives haste. Alright, I have a minute left, so let's just instead of thinking and talking, let's just play and attack. These games against Dredge actually go a long time, and in real life too. I played Grixis Control versus Dredge at like a local event, playing Grixis Control, and it's just both players have so many decisions. Like maybe the Dredge player knows what's going on more, but like most people haven't played that many matches against Dredge. Like me, like you see that I make little mistakes. You know, I don't have the reps in. And still, like, this game, you know, with this ooze active, like, yeah, I'm winning, but, like, every little misstep, like, I can basically make weird plays with the ooze, like exiling looting and exiling different creatures from his graveyard. And that is, like, worse on board and lets my opponent in the game longer, but it prevents them from, like, you know, doing something crazy in one turn or something like that. He's just going to run out of deck, I think. I mean, he's going to have a bunch of Bloodghasts. But I don't think he can kill me. He's got 6 cards left in his deck. I have a company as well. 3 cards in hand. I just don't see how he can beat me. Like, I can just make sure I have a mana up so I can exile... the Scourge Devil, which I haven't seen yet. It's possible he sides that out in post-board games, just assuming there's going to be hate. He has Loam, probably. Yeah. So how many Conflagrates are in his graveyard? 2? I don't know if they're worth exiling or not. Is he just dead on board? 8, 9, 10. I think he's just down on board. Just exile like a Neonate. That's 12. Narcomoeba. That's 14. That's plenty. Whatever. Sorry about the sloppy matches today. I always say this in my articles. Actually play these decks. I've played this deck a lot. I played this deck in like 5 leagues before this. And I'm still kind of like struggling to put the right plays together.